One who seeks should not stop seeking until one has found. Upon seeing the truth, you will be greatly disturbed. And after you are disturbed, you will be astonished, and you will reign over the all. And after having reigned, you will rest. If your leaders say to you, "Look, the kingdom of heaven is up above," then the birds of the sky will precede you. And if they say, "Behold, the kingdom is down below," then the fishes of the sea will precede you. Rather, the kingdom of heaven is within you and without you. When you know yourself, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are the child of the living God. But if you do not know yourself, you dwell in poverty, and you are poverty. Do not lie, and do not do what you hate. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing covered that will remain undisclosed. All things are illumined under the light of heaven. Blessed is the lion consumed by man, and the lion becomes human. But cursed is the man consumed by lion, and the lion becomes human. If you have ears to hear, let them hear. The man is like a wise fisherman, casting his net into the sea. He draws it up full of little fish. Among them he finds a fine large fish. Casting all the small fish back into the sea, he easily chooses the large fish. Now, the sower went out, took a handful of seeds, and scattered them. Some fell on the road, and birds came and gathered them up. Others fell on the rock and did not take root. Others fell on thorns, which choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on good soil and produced good fruit. I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. This heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. When you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you become two, what will you do? The disciples said to Jesus, "We know that you will depart from us. Who is to be our leader?" Jesus said, "Wherever you are to go to James the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being." Jesus said to his disciples, "Compare me to someone and tell me whom I am like." Simon Peter said, "You are like a righteous angel." Matthew said, "You are like a wise philosopher." Thomas said to him, "Master, my mouth is utterly incapable of saying whom you are like. Jesus said, I am not your master. Because you have drunk, you have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out. And he took him and withdrew and told him 3 things. When Thomas returned to his companions, they asked him, What did Jesus say to you? And he replied, If I tell you one of the things which he said to me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me, and fire will come up out of the stones and consume you. Jesus said, If you fast, you will give rise to sin within yourself. And if you pray, you will condemn yourself. And if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirit. When you go into any land and walk about in its districts, if they receive you, eat what they set before you and heal the sick among them. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but rather what comes out of your mouth will defile you. When you see one who is not born of woman, prostrate yourself on your face and worship him. That one is your Father. Men think, perhaps, that it is peace which I have come to cast upon the earth. They do not know that it is dissension which I have come to cast upon the earth. Fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Father against son, and son against father. And they will stand solitary. I shall give you what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what has never occurred to the human mind. The disciples said, Tell us what our end will be. He answered, Have you discovered the beginning that you are now looking for the end? For where the beginning is, there the end will be. Blessed are you who will take your place in the beginning. You will know the end, and you will not experience death. Blessed is the one who came into being before he came into being. If you listen to my words and become my disciples, these stones will minister to you. For there are 5 trees for you in paradise, which remain undisturbed summer and winter, and whose leaves do not fall. Whosoever becomes acquainted with them will not experience death. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. But when it falls on tilled soil, it produces a great plant and becomes a shelter for the birds of the sky. Mary said to Jesus, Whom are your disciples like? Jesus said, They are like children who have settled in a field that does not belong to them. When the owners of the field return, they will say, Give us back our field. And they will undress themselves in their presence in order to give it back to them. Therefore I say, if the owner of a house knows that a thief is coming, he will begin his vigil before the thief arrives, and will not let him enter into his domain to carry away his goods. You then, be on guard against the world. Arm yourselves with great strength, lest the robbers find a way to get to you. For the trouble you expect will surely manifest. Let there be among you a man of understanding. When the grain ripened, he came quickly with his sickle in hand and reaped it. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Jesus saw infants being suckled and said to his disciples, These infants being suckled are like those who enter my Father's house. They said to him, Shall we then, as children, enter into his kingdom? Jesus replied, when you make the two into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and female into a single one, so that they neither be male nor female, and when you fashion eyes in place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and a likeness in place of a likeness, then you will enter the kingdom. I shall choose you 1 out of 1,000 and 2 out of 10,000, and you will stand as a single one. His disciples said to him, show us the place where you are, for it is necessary for us to seek it. Jesus said, if you have ears to hear, let them hear. There is light within a being of light, and it shines upon the whole world. If it does not shine, there is darkness. Love your brothers and your sisters like your life, and protect them like the pupil of your eye. You see the mote that is in your brother's eye, but you do not see the stone that is in your own eye. When you remove the stone from your own eye, then you will see clearly enough to remove the mote from your brother's eye. If you do not fast as regards the world, you will not know the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a real Sabbath, you will not see the Father. I stood in the midst of the world and appeared to them in the flesh. I found all of them drunk, and none of them thirsty. And my soul anguished for the sons of men, for they are blind in their hearts, and they do not see. Empty they came into the world, and empty too they seek to leave it. But when they shake off their wine, then they will repent. If the body came into being because of the Spirit, that is a marvel. But if the Spirit came into being because of the body, that is a marvel of marvels. And even still I wonder how this great wealth came to reside in such poverty. No prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who know him. A fortified city built on a high mountain cannot fall, nor is it a secret. Preach from your rooftops that which you will hear in your own ear. No one lights a candle and hides it under a bushel, but rather puts it on a lampstand so that everyone can see its light. If a blind man leads a blind man, they both will fall into a pit. It is not possible to enter the house of a strong man and take it by force, unless you first bind his hands, then you may enter. Do not be concerned from morning until evening and from evening until morning about what you will wear. His disciples asked, when will you make yourself known to us? Jesus said, when you rid yourself of guilt and shame and take up your garments and trample them under your feet like little children, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid. Many times have you desired to hear these words which I am speaking to you. You have no one else from whom to hear them. There will be days when you will seek me, and I will not be found. The Pharisees and the scribes have taken the keys of knowledge and hidden them away. They have not entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to do so. You, however, be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. A grapevine has been planted outside of my Father's house, but being unsound, it will be pulled up by its roots and destroyed. To one who has, more will be given, but to one who has not, even what little he has will be taken away. Become passers-by. His disciples inquired, "Who are you that you should say these things to us?" Jesus said to them, "You do not realize who I am from what I say to you, but you have become like those who either love the tree and hate the fruit, or love the fruit and hate the tree. Whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will neither be forgiven in heaven or on earth." Grapes are not harvested from thorns, nor are figs gathered from thistles. A good man brings forth good from his storehouse. An evil man brings forth evil, which is in his heart, and says evil things. For out of the abundance of the heart he brings forth evil things. From Adam until John the Baptist, there is no one superior to John, that his eyes should not be lowered before him. John has a vision that will not be blurred. But as I've said, whichever among you becomes like a child will come to know the kingdom, and will be superior even to John. If two make peace in a single house, they will say with faith to the mountain, "Move," and it will move. Blessed are the solitary and the elect, for you will know God's kingdom. If you seek it with your heart, to it you will return. His disciples asked, "When will peace for the dead come about? When will the new world come?" Jesus said to them, "What you desire has already come, but you do not recognize it." The disciples said, 24 prophets spoke in Israel, and they all spoke of you." Jesus replied, "You have disregarded the living one in your presence, and have spoken only of the dead." His disciples inquired of him, "Is circumcision beneficial or not?" He said to them, "If it were beneficial, their father would beget them already circumcised from their mother. Rather, the true circumcision in the Spirit is wholly beneficial. Blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. One who has come to know the world has found only a corpse, and one who has found a corpse is superior to the world. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who purchased good seed. His enemy came by night and sowed weeds among the good seed. The farmer forbade his workmen to hoe the weeds, saying, "In pulling the weeds you may also uproot the wheat. On the day of the harvest the weeds will be plainly visible, and they will be pulled up and burned." Blessed is one who has suffered and found life. Take heed of the living one while you are alive, lest you seek to find him in death, and will not be able to do so. They saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb on his way to Judea. Jesus said, "Why does he carry that lamb?" They said to him, "So that he may kill it and eat it." He said to them, "While it is alive, he will not eat it, but only when he has killed it and it has become a corpse." They said to him, "He cannot do so otherwise." Jesus said, "You also look for a place for yourself within repose, lest you too become a corpse and be eaten. 2 will rest on a bed. The one will die and the other will live." Salome said, "Who are you that you have come upon my couch and eaten from my table?" Jesus said, "I am the one who comes from the undivided. I was granted of what belongs to my Father. If one is whole, one will be filled with light. But if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness. I disclose my mysteries to those worthy of my mysteries. Do not let your right hand know what your left hand is doing." There was a rich man with a great deal of money. He said, "I will invest so that I may sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouses with produce, that I may lack nothing." Such were his intentions, but that very night he died. Anyone with ears to hear, let them hear. A man was receiving guests. When he had prepared the feast, he sent his servant to invite the guests. To the first guest the servant said, "My master invites you." That one said, "Some merchants owe me money. They are coming to me tonight. I have to go and give them instructions. Please excuse me." The servant went to another and said, "My master invites you." That one said, "I have bought a house, and I have been called away for the day. I shall have no time." The servant went to another and said, "My master invites you." That one said, "My friend is to be married, and I am to arrange the banquet. I will not be able to attend. Please excuse me." The servant went to another and said, "My master invites you." That one said, "I have just bought a farm, and I am on my way to collect the rent. I will not be able to come. I ask to be excused." The servant returned to his master and said, "Those whom you invited to dinner have asked to be excused." The master said, "Go out into the streets and bring back whomever you happen to find, so that they may dine. Businessmen and merchants will not be allowed to enter the house of my Father." There was a good man who owned a vineyard. He leased it to tenant farmers that they might work it and he might collect the produce from them. When the harvest arrived, he sent his servant to collect. The tenants seized him and beat him, all but killing him. The servant returned and told his master. The master said, "Perhaps they did not recognize him." So he sent another. The tenants beat him as well. So the owner sent his very own son and said, "Perhaps they will treat my son with respect." Because the tenants knew that it was he who was the heir to the vineyard, they seized him and killed him. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Show me the stone which the builders have rejected. That one is the cornerstone. One who understands everything yet lacks self-awareness lacks everything. Blessed are you when you are hated and persecuted. Wherever you have been persecuted, they will find no place. Blessed are those who have been persecuted within themselves. It is they who have truly come to know the Father. Blessed are those who hunger. The stomach of one in want will be filled. If you bring forth what is within you, that which you have within you will save you. But if you do not have it within you, that which you do not have within you will kill you. I will destroy this house, and no one will be able to rebuild it. A man said to Jesus, "Tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me." Jesus said to him, "Who has made me a divider?" He turned to his disciples and said, "I am not a divider, am I?" The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. Beseech the Lord, therefore, to send out laborers to the harvest. There are many around the drinking trough, but there is nothing in the cistern. Many are standing at the door, but it is those who stand alone that will enter the bridal chamber. The kingdom of the Father is like a merchant who had a consignment of goods, and discovered among them a single pearl. The merchant was shrewd. He sold the merchandise and kept the pearl alone for himself. You also seek his treasure that is unfailing and that endures, where no moth comes to eat and no worm destroys. It is I who am the light that is above them all. It is I who am the all. From me did the all come forth, and unto me does the all extend. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift the stone, and you will find me there. Why have you come out into the desert? To see a reed shaken by the wind? To see a man clothed in fine garments like your kings and your great men? Upon them all are fine garments, and yet they are unable to discern the truth. A woman from the mob that had gathered said to Jesus, "Blessed is the womb which bore you, and the breasts which gave you milk." He said to her, "Blessed are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there may come a time when you will say, 'Blessed is the womb which has not conceived, and the breasts which have not given milk.'" One who has recognized this world has discovered the body, and he who has discovered the body is superior to the world. Let one who has grown rich be king, and one who possesses power, let him renounce it. Whosoever is near to me is near to the fire, and whoever is far from me is far from the kingdom. These images are visible to man, but the light in them remains concealed in the image of the light of the Father. He will become manifest, but his image will remain concealed by his light. When you see your likeness, you rejoice. But when you see your images which came into being before you, and which neither die nor become manifest, how much you will have to bear. Adam came into being from a great power and a great wealth, but he did not become worthy of you. For had he been worthy, he would not have experienced death. The foxes have their holes, and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head and rest. How miserable is the body that depends on a body, and how miserable is the soul that depends on these two. The messengers and the prophets will come to you and give you what you already have, and you in turn will give them what you have, and say to yourselves, when will they come and take what is theirs? Why do you wash the outside of the cup? Do you not understand the one who made the inside is the one who made the outside? Come to me, for my yoke is soft, and my lordship is mild, and you will find repose for yourself. They said to him, tell us who you are, that we may believe in you. He said, you examine the face of heaven and earth, but you have not recognized the one in your presence, and you do not know how to recognize this moment. Seek, and you will find. What you have asked of me in former times, in which I did not tell you then, now I desire to tell, but you do not ask. Do not give what is holy to dogs, lest they throw it on the dung heap. One who seeks will find, and to one who knocks, the door will be opened. If you have money, do not lend it at interest, but rather give it to one from whom you will not get it back. The kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman. She took a little leaven, concealed it in some dough, and made it into large loaves. Anyone with ears to hear, let them hear. The kingdom is like a woman who is carrying a jar full of meal. While she was walking along the road, still some distance from home, the handle of the jar broke and the meal spilled out behind her. She did not notice it. When she reached her house, she found the jar empty. The kingdom of the Father is like a certain man who wanted to kill a powerful man. In his own house he drew his sword and drove it into the wall in order to see whether his hand could carry through. Then he slew the powerful man. The disciples said to him, your brothers and your mother are standing outside. He said to them, those here that do the will of my Father are my brothers and my mother. It is they who will enter my Father's kingdom. They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, Caesar's men demand taxes from us. He said to them, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give to God what belongs to God. And give me what is mine. Whoever does not hate father and mother as I do cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not love father and mother as I do cannot be my disciple. Woe to the Pharisees, for they are like a dog sleeping in the manger of cattle. Neither does the dog eat, nor does it allow the cattle to eat. Fortunate is the man who knows where the robbers will enter, that he may get up, muster his domain, and arm himself before they arrive. They said to Jesus, come, let us pray today and let us fast. Jesus said, what sin have I committed, or wherein have I faltered? Rather, when the bridegroom leaves the bridal chamber, then let people fast and pray. He who knows the father and the mother will be called the son of a harlot. When you make the two into one, you will become the sons of man. And when you say to the mountain, move away, it will move away. The kingdom is like a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray. The shepherd left the 99 and sought after the one until he found it. After he had gone to such trouble, he said to the sheep, I care for you more than the 99. He who will drink from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become he, and all that is hidden will become revealed. The kingdom is like a man who had in his field a hidden treasure of which he was not aware. And afterwards he died and willed it to his son. The son also did not know. He took possession of that field and sold it. The man who bought it came to plow and discovered the treasure. He began to lend money at interest to whomsoever he chose. Let one who has found the world and become rich renounce it. The heavens and the earth will be rolled up in your presence, and the one who lives in the living one will not see death. Whoever finds himself is superior to the world. Woe to the soul that depends on the flesh, and woe to the flesh that depends on the soul. The disciples asked, "When will the kingdom come?" Jesus replied, "It will not come by waiting for it." They will not say, "Here it is," or "There it goes." Rather, the kingdom of heaven is spread out all over the world, and people do not see it.